To be fair, I have not been riding on Jada as hard as I should have been. She is the clear cut example, witchcraft allegations aside, of showing that just messing with the wrong woman can just crumble your whole empire. And you know what? It shows how great Will Smith really is. Imagine if he had like just a half decent lady on his side, just a half decent. Look how much he has accomplished with an abusive partner. You know what I mean? So that maybe I went too hard on Will Smith. And like I said, I still think he still has that play of he can still come out the closet, and that would be the winning play in my opinion. For me, that would be the winning play. But yeah, when we take a look at Jada, right? She's the classic alpha widow, and look, she's the perfect example of also. Look at what she had: handsome husband, 6'4", 8-figure, 7-figure, all of it. He literally has everything, but she's still fiending after 5'8", 5'7" Tupac. But he has that personality, that charisma. She always mentioned his smile. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those people. People say that Tupac and Jada smashed. I don't believe that. I think they didn't, and I think because they didn't, and they never had an official relationship, that and him not ever choosing her, because that's clearly why she's still not over him, because he never held her up in the air like, this is gonna be my woman one day. It's only speculation on her end. When you actually look at the history, people have said that Tupac and Faith Evans were F buddies, friends with benefits, and then you look at the person that was his actual fiance, Kadada Jones, Quincy Jones' daughter, right? These were the people that, like, even Madonna, they, it's been confirmed that they dated, they've hooked up, they smashed. But the way that Jada tries to claim him, it's like you didn't even get. It's like she was chasing him the whole time. You see, and that's why she can never get over him. I think what would have been beautiful is if they had just gotten married in the first place, right? Or they hooked up in the first place, and then they just decide, okay, that's enough. That would have been better. Like, she would have been a better wife in the future. But because I believe it, I believe they really never hooked up. I believe that. But I believe it was more of Tupac was like, nah. I believe Tupac had real love for Jada because of they grew up together, in terms of he wants to see her win in life. But he knows that I cannot wipe this up, or I can't even mess with that person sexually because I know who she is. I grew up with her. And this is what people miss, in my opinion. Tupac basically grew up with her. He knows who she is. So there's a reason why, eventually, you'd be like, eventually they must have had no, because he knows who she is. Look what she did to Will. And Tupac knows that. But it's what I believe, the kind of love that Tupac had for her. I get it. I understand there are women in my life that I have seen, right? Where I've seen, we grew up together, right? Or near each other. And even though I'm not saying you would have never smashed, but it's just more of, you're not even thinking about her like that. You just, because you grew up, you hope that she does well in the future. There's no bad blood between you guys, right? And you just want to see her win. I know what that feels like. There are plenty of women in my life that I grew up with, and I just want to see them do well in life. And it's not even a matter of, even if she is pretty, it's not even a matter of that. It's just, somebody you grew up with, somebody you developed a rapport or some kind of connection. You know what I mean? I think that's why he was like, when he wrote that letter, he said, this is beyond sex. You know what I mean? I know what Tupac was saying with that. I know what he means by that. There are people in my life that it's not even about that. I just want to see them win because we know each other. And I want to be in a position in my life where I bump into them and they're living a respectable life, right? Something where we don't have to look at each other awkwardly. Like, man, we grew up together and we still at the bottom. It's awkward, or one of us is at the top, or and one of us at the like. I'd rather it be like if it's somebody I know, I'd rather it, especially somebody that I was friends with. I'd rather it just you be at a better position, and it's just me just stumbling into you, and I could just give you your praises there, then and there, and just see where we could reconnect from there. That's man or woman. So that's what that love is. You know what I mean? Now, in Jada's case, I kind of went on a tangent there, but I just wanted to set it up to show you how to, because I think the same way. Jada was in a position where she's always chasing him. Because I'm pretty sure, even though Jada and Pac, they was probably close when they was kids and blah, 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 but and they were doing their thing, she probably never knew that he was going to blow up the way that he did. And his personality and his charisma comes into question. And you see the impact that he's making. Jada's like, he's been so close to me this whole time, and yet it's still, and she still has the access to Pac because of the entertainment industry, the game that they're in, where in her mind he's right there, but yet he's so far. That's where that obsession that she can't get over. And at the end of the day, they clearly kept in contact with each other, but he's Tupac. You're Jada. Tupac, I'm talking about Tupac's impact on the world. You know what I mean? It's way bigger than music. And that guy was right there in Jada's grasp. And Tupac wasn't really even checking for her like that. That's where that obsession comes from. Man, it's interesting. That's why I believe it's because it's at the whole time, it's clear to me that Jada has been Jada chasing Tupac the whole time. The ghost of Tupac. You can't compete with ghosts. And on top of that, when you look at her, Jada, as a person, I believe, like I said in the other video, I believe she is a witch. I believe she did put a spell on Will. And she's a person that not only does she not like Will, she literally said it herself. She said she didn't even want to get married to the guy. She said she was miserable the whole wedding day. So I believe this is a person that she is just with Will for the status wise, but she envies that man in terms of she can never make the impact. First of all, in her mind, Will Smith will never be Tupac. And also, unfortunately, if you're going out with a woman, right, and she thinks less of you for any reason, it could be maybe you're not like her ex, maybe you're not like her fantasy, or maybe she thinks she's selling for you. Like in Jada's mind, people might not believe me when I say this. In Jada's mind, when she got with Will, in her mind, she was like, oh, I might as well let him marry me. I might as well. In her mind, like, even though if you look at it on paper, this is the opportunity of a lifetime to get married to one of the, at the time, Will Smith was the most young upcoming superstar in terms of rapper, actor. Clearly his career is going like literally like this. When you talk about, when we're talking about Will Smith, you're talking about Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, these guys, right? But in her mind, it's like, I might as well let him marry me. So when you're dealing with a woman like that and you end up not only surpassing that, like when people say Will Smith, they just thinking Will Smith. They're not thinking about Jada. They thinking Will's that dude for real. When they mention Will Smith's name, Jada ends up hating Will Smith even more. Like she has a real hatred for him because of the impact that he's had on the world. Because she's like in her mind, oh, you ain't Pac, or you ain't. In her mind, he's not that. He's not all that. In her mind, you know what I mean. So this is the stuff you gotta watch out. Where you gotta dissect. It's you know what I mean. And this is why I always say, I'm not saying the black pill is wrong, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Because I always be like, what about Tupac and Will Smith? What about you know what I mean? What about, or even just then, when you look at all the 90s rock stars that the girls were throwing themselves at, if you look at the pictures of these people who the girls said, these are the hottest dudes ever, or these were the baddest dudes on the planet that they were throwing themselves at. Then you look at the pictures of them and you're like, girls were going crazy over that back. That's how it works. You know what I mean? So it's even bigger than it's way, like, the situation is always way bigger than just the aesthetics. Because Will Smith, Steph Curry and Will Smith literally prove they literally have everything. And it's literally going to be like, what's next? You know, that's why I always say it's kind of useless to be like, okay, say every man or most men start getting on their job per se, and they make six figures and start matching what the girls want. They're just literally just gonna look at you and be like, okay, I want seven figures. That's how it works. You know what I mean? So you can't. You have to be in the position where she is chasing you, and it could be for a myriad of reasons why she's chasing you. It could have just been like you. It would be like one night. She thinks she's giving you a chance, and you turn her down for sex, and then she just becomes obsessed, and you think that she's obsessed with you, but she's really just obsessed with why you didn't give her the validation. And then she literally you become the target. And then on top of that, imagine this is where I'm going to sum up this whole Jada stuff. Imagine, the average pretty girl, usually nobody turns down. And then she just decides one day, hey, why don't you kiss me? Why don't you kiss me? Why don't you do that? And you just say no. Now, she'll be insecure about it. But as soon as she's about to move on from you, you end up something happens to you, like you get discovered by ESPN, and now you're like a ranked top 100 quarterback in the nation, and you just keep rising up, and she's still your friend, and you turn her down, but you're still friends. She will be chasing you forever, and then you that's literally the Jada Pinkett and Tupac situation explained. That doesn't even have nothing to do with, dude. That, or even you say you just go viral the day after you turned her down. And it's not a matter of you asked her and she turned you down and then you got rich and then she's regretting that. She can live with that. She can live with that. When you already turned her down, when she thinks she's giving you a favor, or you just thinking, oh, he'll always be there, and then he turns her down, and then your star, for some reason, whether it be you get rich by you gain status in some way. I don't even want to say money. I just say you gain status in some way. She's going to chase you forever. That's how it works. Or you die the next day. Something crazy like that. You know what I mean? So this situations like that, it has layers, but it's pretty clear cut what that situation is. When you're dealing with an evil person like Jada, and like I said, I think she is a witch, and she's a person that's always going to push the envelope, keep pushing the envelope, until Wilson Smith snaps. She's been giving him the scissors to end this forever, but Will wants to keep up the appearance. Even with what she's, the stuff that she's coming with now is just her giving Will Smith the scissors, her giving Will Smith the scissors to cut it off, but he's not going to do it. So, like I said, it's up to Will. I already gave Will the winning formula. It's up to him if he wants to take it or not.